let us talk about motivation in men. How do we increase motivation in men? And what does that mean for every man and woman watching? And how can we all be of service to increase overall motivation in all men towards common goals? Well, fundamentally, motivation cannot happen if discipline does not exist. So discipline is continued commitment to consistency no matter what. So to have motivation, you have discipline. Now, the goal here really to increase motivation is that we figure out how to implement discipline. We figure out how to make discipline a pillar of our life, day in, day out, in every area that we want to improve on, and motivation will take care of itself. Now, we're not going to talk about pharmacological interventions. We're not going to talk about testosterone necessities or anything there. We're just going to talk about how we can improve motivation in men with the implementation of discipline. So, motivation overall, right? A lot of people are not motivated, right, to lose weight. They're not motivated to lift heavy, right? They're not motivated, I can't spell, to hit their steps. You know, they're not in the mood to please their spouse or their partner, right? So how do we improve overall motivation in men in general? We get them to a place where discipline is not even a question. And so what we're going to do is, and we're defining discipline here as the continued commitment to consistency no matter what. And I know my handwriting is terrible, bear with me, but continued commitment to consistency no matter what. The fastest way, and let's take a concrete example, right? Of, let's say, hey, I don't have motivation, right? I don't have motivation. Someone says, I don't have motivation to go to the gym. Okay? So then overall goal, right? And we're going to reverse engineer this goal. The overall goal is going to gym, okay, in this specific example. Well, for us to be able to go to gym, right, what do we need to have? First and foremost, we need to have the time allotted for the gym. We need to have our exercise gear on, right? We need to have programming, and we need to have means of transportation to the gym, okay? Those are the four things, right? So we need the time, we need transport, right? We need gear, and we need a plan, okay? Plan mean programming, okay? So we need those things. Those are all of the things that can stand in our way, right? The time, the transport, the gear, the clothes, the shoes, what have you, the appropriate gear, right? And the plan, the programming, whatever we're going to do in the gym, okay? Those are the things that can stand in our way. So if we don't have motivation to even go, we should start with looking at these places, right? These priorities, okay? These priorities right here, right? Where are we going wrong? There's a high probability that if we are not going to the gym, but we want to go to the gym, but we for some reason can't get to the gym, there's probably a high probability that we're either lacking the allocation of time, right? We don't have adequate transportation, or we're pushing it up to the limit between other things where we're not able to get there. We don't have our clothes allocated for the gym, and or we don't know what the heck we're going to do when we're going there. So how can we fix this? Well, we can fix this all in discipline. So we can break these things down. Time, transport, gear, and programming. All of this comes down to planning, okay? And this is just like a workout plan. It's not the same thing. But it comes down to planning. And it comes down to planning that is rooted in process goals, okay? So everything here, to plan out the time, to plan out the transport, to plan out the gear, to plan out the programming, you got to commit to process goals, right? When you win at process goals, you win at discipline. When you win at discipline, all of this becomes easy. And when all of this becomes easy and a foundational piece of your life, motivation is here. So until we get to a place where we have discipline in what we're doing on a day-to-day basis, motivation is nearly impossible because anything can derail you. From an Instagram thought to a DM of someone sending you titties in the middle of the day to, and those are both sexual examples I know, to someone saying like, hey, let's go grab a beer, let's go do this, let's go do that. When the pain of of change, right? And the pain of change is not there because you have all these other options and you're not suffocating them out because you're not looking at them across what your actual goal is, then we're in a weird spot. So it comes down to planning and it comes down to process goals. So if time is an issue, right? Process goals, first and foremost, come down to awareness. Okay, for example, in time, I don't have time to work out. You're right, you probably don't have time right now because you're allocating your time incorrectly. So awareness, right? Time study. Okay, on time specifically, time study, 7 days, right? Write down everything that you're doing, right? And once you have an awareness of an observation week, then intentionally time block your days so they best suit what you're trying to do, right? To the end goal that you have. This end goal could be an ideal, it could be a certain body type, it could be so small as just going to the gym. And also you can have multiple goals. You can have many goals like this that you reverse engineer. And then the overall ideal is that you're a healthier, happier individual that's more fulfilled. Okay, but that looks like a bunch of different goals stacked on top of each other. So just talking about going to the gym for now, we've got time. You gotta have awareness of where your time is going, right? Transport, okay? This could literally be a thing that's, again, related straight to the time, right? Or what this could be is, this could be a location issue, right? So a lot of times in transport, and that'll bleed into time where people are like, I don't have any time to drive over there. Well, the fact of the matter is that like you don't need to go to LA Fitness or Windy Hill Athletic Club or go to the Forum or go to somewhere specific that everyone and their mother goes to get a workout, right? If you can't figure out your time, you might just need to drop and give me 20 in your apartment. You might need to just walk downstairs, walk outside, and do it in the grass. Like that comes down to the location that you're going to be working out, right? How can you make it too small to fail, too easy to succeed, right? The fastest way to do that is to just take out anything that's a complexity. So, for example, on the transport side, right, we're talking about location, right? Working out in your living room with body weight is a great way to start. Like you. Do 2 push-ups, do 5 pull-ups when you walk into your room every time you walk through the threshold. I promise you get really good at pull-ups. Regardless though, location is really the biggest limiter with transport because then we get stuck in traffic and then we got to do it perfect or we got to do it not at all, and that's just not necessary. Another thing is gear. I mean, this isn't just another complication, right? Gear. You don't need the newest lifters and the best hat and the newest sunglasses. You need to just throw clothes on that won't get you kicked out of a gym or won't get you kicked out of a fitness center and just move. This could literally be any shirt and some sort of athletic shorts, not jeans. Anything outside of that, hell, jeans if you have to. If you don't have anything else, just get it done, right? Get it done, right? You don't need more complications. You don't need any complications there. And then on the programming, right? Here's a big thing. 1 is greater than 0. So would it be best to progressive overload and have smaller cycles with the deload week and this, that, and the other? Yes. But if you're in a spot where you're not doing any of that and you're in a spot where you're not paying for coaching, just move, right? As we said many times, we're trying to hit 15 to 20 sets. Whoa. At RPE 7 to 9 every week. Okay, 15 to 20 sets per muscle group every week, 7 days at RPE 7 to 9, which means you have like 3, maybe 2, 3, 4 reps in the tank across all the sets for the whole week. Now, obviously it's going to adjust as you have intentional programming done for you. Like this is not the issue of this video. What we're talking about here is motivation and discipline being the underpinnings. So when you're in a place where you have this problem going to the gym, these are the reasons why it's difficult to do that. You've got to then just reverse engineer them and have awareness around all of them, right? Time study, where's your time going? How far is the place that you're going to be working out from where you're at currently and normally, right? Complications in gear and programming. I mean, this is a big issue, and we complicate ourselves right out of getting any gains, right? Once you have awareness of all of this, well, then you can map out, goals, right? And I would recommend that if you're struggling with motivation, right, we're trying to get that up, that we map out goals that are process goals. Meaning, these are actions. These are physical actions within your control. So this is not gain 20 pounds, okay? This is show up to the gym 5 times a week. Guess what? Showing up to the gym 5 times a week means you walked your happy ass through the door. You walked yourself into a place where you're doing your workouts, right? This could be, right? That could be a process goal. You're going to show up to the gym 5 times a week. Maybe you're struggling with motivation, so you're going to do 10 seconds, you know? So that's maybe goal number 1. We'll take goal number 2 over here. 10 seconds, stretching. And literally a hamstring. Okay? Maybe that's another goal. Maybe number 3 is you're going to write 1 workout per day. Okay? You're gonna write 1 workout per day so that when you get to 7 days and you can start your first day of exercise and start implementing discipline to show up with a plan that you already put together that is not overcomplicated, combined with the 10 seconds of stretching that you're gonna do on a hamstring a day, combined with showing up 5 days a week on the workouts. And maybe number 4, you know, here you're like, I'm struggling with motivation. Well, maybe you need to, you know, these are the constraints. Maybe you're spending too much time. You do a time study, right? You do a time study and you figure out that so much of your time is spent on Netflix, right? Netflix, hanging with Boo. Okay? And so maybe instead you need to spend time walking without screen. So you got to reverse engineer the goal, right? To the things that are limiting you, and then the awareness around how they're manifesting in your life now, and then work that back into the process goals that can just work your way out of that. If you struggle with being on the screen, a process goal is that you just don't turn on a screen until 6 p.m. So you have your workday fully free and clear away from a screen doing leisure activities, right? You can't do that because a lot of people work remote, but I'm talking like don't turn on Netflix, YouTube, etc. until 6 p.m. That's a process goal. That's something that is 100% in your control. Eating 1 veggie a day, 1 head of broccoli, or 1 bite of broccoli is a process goal. The way that we get to motivation is we instill discipline. The way that we instill discipline is you outwork your self-doubt, as Hormozy and a bunch of other people say. Literally at the end of the day, it is just thousands, right? Well, that's not thousands, right? But it's just this many small habits stacked. Make it unreasonable that you wouldn't hit the goal that you're looking for, and I promise you motivation will come as a byproduct of you implementing discipline. If you never figure out discipline, motivation will require caffeine, it will require nicotine, it will require probably psychedelics, it will require potentially some other motivating factors like women in your life or sexual partners or what have you. And like if you're waiting to be motivated, then you're not going to get as much done. You're going to leave potential on the table and you're not going to be able to hit it. You need discipline, right? Jocko Willink talks about discipline all the time. David Goggins talks about discipline all the time. You also don't have to be a Navy SEAL to have discipline. Look at literally anyone else that's successful. Discipline is what they focus on, not motivation, because motivation is fleeting. It's an emotion and it tells you something in this moment right now, but you could be unmotivated tomorrow because your brother got shot in the face. Does that mean that you should stop being disciplined in your actions? I don't think so, because that had nothing to do with these actions at all. Had to do something outside of your control. You want to focus on the things in your control, which are process goals. Hope that helps. Peace.